would say out of the three, the most respect that I would have for any of them was Stevie Crea. But if you give me a Gas, a Big Frankie, a Boat, Georgie Neck, even Georgie Conti, give me guys like that all day long. I take those guys over.
These are the original guys that kind of brought it all together for a lot of people.
Take a guy like Georgie Neck.
Yeah.
Okay? The guy, he's been through it. He earned everything he has today, he earned. You know, he grew up in it. He dedicated his whole life to it. And, you know, he's a disciple, really, of Gaspipe. So Gas, he was Gas's guy.
That makes sense. That's why he is who he is. Huh?
And don't forget, Gas, Georgie grew up in it because Georgie's father was a maid guy with the Genovese family.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They used to call his father Georgie Rush. His father was a good guy, tough guy. I don't know what happened. I know what happened with the story as to why he got killed, for the reason why he got killed, which I think was a stupid reason. But they chopped his father's head off. One day, I don't know where it was, it rolled up on some shoreline or something, and they found his father's head dismembered.
Jeez.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
And I guess after that, they did a temperature check. They called him in to feel him out.
Yep.
Because they were ready to kill him too. Because that's what they do. They want to see how you feel about it.
Right.
If they call him in, I guess he gave the right answers, they let him go.
It's interesting they let him go.
Well, at that time, they didn't think he was a threat.
Okay.
You know, don't forget, he wasn't seeking revenge. He didn't show he wasn't in the street. He should just hang out in Bensonhurst, you know, Staten Island, Bensonhurst, wherever. I don't know exactly where, but I used to think he ran like a milk store or something called the Cowbound, whatever it was. Anyway, he was just a good kid, you know? So I guess he gave all the right answers, and they figured, well, there's no reason to kill him because he's not a threat. He's not looking for revenge. Yeah. He then took off and went to Jersey and laid low. Man, never wanted to be involved with the life. Got married, had a kid, and he just did the right thing.
And they let him alone.
Let him alone and let it be.
Yep.
What happens now? Gaspipe loved the father, Vic and Gas.
Yep.
Because the father was a real guy. They went out there, and Gas was like, come on, this ain't you. You know, I remember Georgie telling me, Gas would be like, come on, this ain't you. Yeah. And Georgie's like, no, I got my wife, I got my kid.
Got a whole new life. I didn't want to give that up.
And he would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I know Georgie very well. Georgie's a laid back guy. He doesn't, he's not like he never got compulsive with anything. Wasn't like a guy like that was greedy.
Guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He was laid back. He wasn't a greedy guy. Wasn't a manipulator. Wasn't just a, you know, I couldn't have a better captain. It's a shame that he really didn't get to captain the crew because he was on America's Most Wanted.
Right.
He was on the lam. So he couldn't be like right next to me. But I couldn't have a better captain.
That's good.
So Gas brought him back and created a monster. Turned him into a monster. Monster meaning like
he did what was necessary at that point. In that life that he chose. But Gas edged him on, or egged him on, I should say.
He always had it in him because he had the bloodline, right? And Gas knew that. But when Gas brought him back, he turned him into a beast.
That's good.
But the nicest guy you could meet, you would underestimate him.
Really?
Yeah, you would be like, oh, you know how guys get, they look at you, because he wasn't a fighter with his hands. Wasn't nothing but, man, kill you in a minute. Not 2 seconds. Won't even think about it. Doesn't need a drink. You know, some guys, they need a Heineken to fight Germany.
Yeah, I get it.
Right?
I get it.
Well, let me go do a line of Coke and then I'll be ready.
Yeah.
This guy, I don't care where it is, when it is, he'll pull out and blow your head off. Wow. No problem. But a good guy, like a guy that is reason, like to me, he's more I want to say, I mean, Gas was dangerous, but Gas wasn't level-headed. Gas was sharp, and he knew the rules, right? And he didn't play by them. But Georgie Neck, Georgie Neck has all that knowledge. He's got all that wisdom from Gas. And then you mix it up with his personality and whatever he picked up. He's a sharp guy. He's the quietest guy. He's the guy in the room where he's the quietest guy in the room.
Yep.
The one you got to...
The ones they say you got to watch out for.
Right.
That's really what it is.
So
the quiet guys.
He's that guy.
They're thinking.
He's the quietest guy in the room that you would never suspect. And all of a sudden, he just turns into this...
beast.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I'm hearing he's running... Either he has the top spot or he's next in line for the top spot, which he earned it.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody out there like that today. I heard Mikey DeSantis, he is the guy. To me, Mikey DeSantis, again, you couldn't have a better guy there. Because Mikey's a guy, Mikey DeSantis too. When he was on the street, tough guy, do whatever you want him to do. When he was in jail, the way he conducted himself, was like a man's man. Because a lot of the guys I was running to in jail, right? They were big reputations on the street or they had a title on the street. And then when they get inside, they're a wreck. Yeah. I mean, a total mess where you look at them and you go, you can never look at them the same.
Yeah, it's not the same guy anymore.
I don't care. They're going to say, yeah, well, you ratted, you cooperated, you this. Who the hell are you to talk? I don't care how much time you did. I don't care. The way they did their time, some of those guys I would never look at. Yeah, okay, they didn't tell, they didn't cooperate, they didn't do that. I'll give you that, okay? But it didn't make them any better because the way they did their time was a total embarrassment to themselves and the organization, the way they conducted themselves.
Yeah, and I guess at that point, that's kind of, people are watching you to see.
I'll give you an example. They used to like to always compare Anthony Boat to Sally Avellino.
Okay.
Sally Avellino was, they nicknamed him the golfer. So every time we were in jail, he used to swing like he had an imaginary golf club in his hand. And I mean, do the whole full swing, the
whole swing.
I don't play golf, but he would do the whole like
he was practicing.
Yeah, like he's practicing. So Sally, huge moneymaker for the family. Huge. Garbage industry, all that stuff. Tough guy? No. Okay. But what? Big junk guy, one of the original Harlem guys on 116th.
Okay, yeah.
Known for big heroin pushes, been around decades, ton of money. Probably made one of the guys that made the most money in the business, but a tough guy. So they always compared it to. So you would see Boat in jail, the way he conducted himself.
Yeah.
Man's man. Represented himself and the family as you should. Sally Avellino, no,
huh?
An embarrassment.
Interesting that all this came out in prison on who really is, as you called it, a tough guy or not a tough guy or a mess.
Well, look, a guy could stand up. Here's what I can understand. You get a guy like Gaspipe, he kill you in a heartbeat, right?
Right.
And then he went on to do what he did. Okay. But then you get a guy like, let's say, Sally Avellino, who would never kill anybody. And he kept his mouth shut. And the way he did his time was a total embarrassment. So, I mean, I don't...
yeah.
Do you give Sally Avellino all the creds because he kept his mouth shut? Does it wipe everything away that Gaspipe ever did in his life?
No.
Does it? I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Maybe when you decide to cooperate, that gets all wiped away. It doesn't count no more.
In real life, maybe it doesn't. I got to think in their lives, once you turn, you turned.
But I can tell you, if Mikey DeSantis is the acting boss today, they got a good guy. They got the right guy in the right spot because he's level-headed. He's not quick to... I lived with Mikey as a cellmate in Otisville. Number of pleasure. Class act. Just a really good... solid guy. And you could reason with him. Georgie Neck, if it's Georgie Neck or if Georgie Neck's next to be. Yeah, to me, Georgie is, I would say, Definitely earned it.
Mhm.
Definitely the guy that would be. I would not be surprised he's the boss. Takes the whole thing over. And they'll be okay. Because Georgie knows both sides. Georgie could be a diplomat, and he could be a Gaspipe.
That's a good thing, I would think, if he can be both.
Makes him, in a lot of ways, makes him more dangerous.
Yeah. And in that position, he needs to be both.
And you know what it is too? He knows the rules.
Yeah.
They see a lot of things today.
But a lot of guys didn't play by the rules.
A lot of guys didn't even know the rules.
This is true.
So if you don't know the rules, how do you play by them?
Exactly. You make your own up. That's how you play.
But if he was to be made the guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's meeting with the other families, because that's what really counts, the Lucchese's would get the respect back. If a Georgie Neck goes to the table, Mike DeSantis goes to the table, Anthony
They
Bowat.
have respect at that table.
Yeah, because now you're bringing guys that are real guys, they're real gangsters. They did their time, and now they got the respect that they earned. It's not like Joe DeFeeti, Danny Kateya, and some other idiot.
Those guys were like fill-ins, or
Yeah, and then you know what'll happen? They'll have to meet with them and talk to them. But as soon as the meeting's over, and they're driving home, they're going, look at this,
yeah,
look at this jackass.
yeah. I get it. Yeah.
So what they got to show them the respect because of the position, but they really don't respect them.
Not behind closed doors. They're not going to talk good about them.
I'm my man.
Really
Always
good.
a pleasure as usual.
Blessings to you, my brother.
Same here, and see you when I see you.
See you when I see you. I love it.